Most people believe the problem of love is the problem of finding the right person, the right object, someone who will love them, make them feel whole, take away the loneliness. This is the wrong question entirely. Love is not a feeling that overtakes you when you find the right person. Love is an art. It requires knowledge, it requires effort, it requires practice. The same kind of devoted practice that a musician gives to an instrument or a craftsman gives to his work. And like any art, it can be learned badly or well. Most of us have learned it very badly. We spend more time learning to drive a car than we spend learning how to love. And then we are surprised when love fails. It does not fail, we fail it, because we treat it as something that arrives, not something we build. Love is a standing in, not a falling for. To understand love, you must first understand the problem it answers. The deepest need of man is the need to overcome his separateness, to leave the prison of his aloneness. We are each sealed inside ourselves, aware of it, unable to fully communicate across that gap. And this awareness is the source of all anxiety. People try many things to escape this separateness. They lose themselves in crowds, in routine, in alcohol, in work, in the constant noise of modern life. These are not solutions. They are anaesthetics. They dull the pain without touching the wound. The full answer, the only real answer to the problem of separateness is love. Not the merging of two people into one blurred thing where both lose themselves. That is not love. That is symbiosis. That is two half people clinging to each other and calling it connection. Mature love is union under the condition of preserving one's integrity. Two beings becoming one, and yet remaining two. In love, the paradox occurs that two beings become one, and yet remain two. When I say love is primarily giving, I can already see your reaction. Giving means sacrifice. Giving means deprivation. Giving means the painful, noble act of surrendering what you want. This is a poverty-stricken view of giving, and it is entirely wrong. For the person who is alive and productive, giving is the highest expression of potency. In the very act of giving, I experience my strength, my aliveness, my overflowing. Not he who has much is rich, but he who gives much. The miser who cannot give is poor, regardless of what he possesses. What does one person give to another in love? Not money, not comfort. He gives of himself, of his joy, his interest, his humor, his sadness, his knowledge, of all that is alive in him. In giving of his life, he enriches the other, and in doing so, he cannot help bringing something to life in return. Love is a power which produces love. If you love without producing love in return, examine your love, not the other person, your love. Beyond giving, love has four elements. Without all four, what you have is not love. It may feel like love. It may be called love, but it is something else. The four are care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. Care, love is the active concern for the life and growth of what you love. If you say you love someone and show no concern for their growth, you do not love them. You possess them. Responsibility, not duty imposed from outside, but the willingness to respond, to see the other's needs and answer them. And respect, not admiration, not awe, but the ability to see a person as they truly are, to want them to grow in their own way, not for your use, for their sake. And knowledge, not surface knowledge, not I know your coffee order, the knowledge that penetrates to the core, that sees past the anger to the fear underneath it, that sees past the silence to the loneliness inside it. Without this knowledge, care is blind, responsibility is presumption, and respect is performance. Remove any one of these four, and what remains is not love. It is dependency, or possession, or sentiment. Love requires all four at once, always. Falling in love is easy. Everyone can do it. It is the collapse of the wall between two people, the sudden feeling of union, and it is wonderful. But it is temporary. It is always temporary. And when the excitement fades, when the other person becomes known, when life reasserts itself, most people conclude that love is over, that they have fallen out of love, and they go looking for a new person to fall for. This is not love failing. This is the confusion of an intensity with a practice. The beginning of love is not the fullness of love. It is the invitation to build it. And building requires something very different from falling. It requires will, decision, daily practice. The choice to love, not just the feeling of loving. To love one person fully is to be in contact with all of humanity. The love of one person, practiced deeply, with care and knowledge and respect, is a window into the love of life itself. Love is not a relationship to a specific person. It is an orientation of character, a way of relating to the world. The only way to find love is to become a loving person. There is no other path. There has never been another path.